So hi listeners and viewers, welcome to my channel at Fancy E-Learning Videos. Some few weeks ago I made mention I'll be starting a new podcast which is on cybersecurity, specifically on cybersecurity. And today being our maiden show or maiden podcast, we would be delving straight into digital world. But today's topic is going to be on social engineering, literally social engineering. So we just want to know what social engineering is. And before we actually delve into this, I would like to, introduce my guests. In fact, he will be on this show for quite a long time because, he has the expertise in all these things. So I would allow him to talk, but before that, of course, I'm Abna. You can call me Abs with 5 S, so ABSSSSS. I know. So over to you. So your name, and what you expect from this show, and what you would be, expecting from listeners as well.
All right. Good evening, Abena, and good evening to your listeners out there. My name is Charles Dickens. You can call me that hacker. It's a pleasure to be on this channel with you.
Great. Thank you so much. So let me move straight into today's topic, which is about social engineering. I'll be giving us some, I have some questions. Probably I'm asking on behalf of the entire listeners, Ghana, people in Ghana, people outside, our mothers, our parents, our siblings who do not know so much about cybersecurity, right? So our discussion once again will be around social engineering for today. And before I start, Mr. Your name again, Dickens, right? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Great. So Dickens, could you help us with what social engineering is? Could you help us? I mean, my mother doesn't know what social engineering is. So could you explain in simple language for us to understand what social engineering is? And if you have any examples you want to give, why not?
All right, sure. So when we talk about social engineering, it is a form of manipulation, all right, where scammers or cyber attackers deceive individuals into revealing credentials or personal information, all right? So this information is then used for fraudulent activities or breaching security systems, okay? It can affect everyday life, by compromising your financial security, social media accounts, or even workplace data. So that's it when we talk about social engineering. A typical example is where you receive a call that your auntie lives in the UK and
in fact,
she has sent you some.
That one, it actually happens a lot, the fact that someone will call you and tell you, they say something like Orlandinho, that kind of word is very funny.
That's it. So, these are all forms of social engineering tricks. They try to play on your intelligence to reveal some information that they will leverage onto, harm you. So that is it when it comes to social engineering.
But that hacker, if I may, from your submissions, I could actually say people are somehow greedy. Because if you've not ordered anything online, if you are not actually expecting any package, and someone calls you that, yes, hello, so you have this package with me, and you still go ahead and tell them you give information about yourself, then that is greediness. Or yes, I'm the only person who thinks it that way.
Yes. I agree with you. That's greediness. You have no one living in the UK or anything. You are not expecting anything like that from anyone up there, and you receive a call. You just go ahead to give your information. That's great, So it is very important that we become aware of some of these things and then guide ourselves with what information to respond to at a particular time and what information not to respond to.
Okay. Thank you so much. So my next question is, how can someone trick me into giving away my personal information? I think that one we've already talked about it. But before we go there, could you give us some common ways scammers can use to trick us? Especially my mom, I actually got my mom a new phone, and you know, these mothers, they like the touch, but sometimes they'll be going to some apps and they're just downloading and like, hey, Abna, could you help me do this? Abna, could you help me do this? Sometimes you explain to them that, oh, don't click here, don't click, they don't understand. So if you could, help us with some common ways these scammers, these tricksters could use to, get information from us or gather information from us.
Sure. So these scammers often use psychological manipulations. There's some form of agency or impersonation to trick victims. These are a few things to look out for. Okay, unsolicited messages or calls claiming urgent action is needed. Mm-hmm. So, like I said, when you receive a call or message from these bad actors out there, there's some form of agency in whatever they are requesting for. So this should be a red flag for you. Okay? And they also request for sensitive information like your password, your bank account details, or the OTPs and all that. So these are the things that should raise alarm or should be a red flag. Why is this person requesting for this sensitive information? Like, what is he going to use it for and all that? And then also too good to be true offers. Some of them go like, oh, we are running a promo and you get to buy iPhone 14.
I'm not cutting you short, but then I think just this Friday was Black Friday sales, and exactly. A lot of sales. I was saying, how can a TV how can it be 1,000 cedis? I mean, not a normal TV. I'm talking about these, smart TV, IoTs. Yes. And you're seeing this TV to be 1,000 cedis, and you expect a person to bring you a good TV which has, these Alexa or Siri, which is 1,000 cedis. I mean, yes. I think sometimes, once again, it goes back to greediness. Because if you are getting this amount, this sale, something should tell you this is wrong. I mean, ideally, you wouldn't. I mean, this thing, it actually goes to especially students, because I've actually experienced this where a family friend of ours, this what happened. So she actually got a call from an unknown number, and this unknown number was saying, oh, she bought some items, plenty issues about items. Then I'm asking this girl, like, when was the last time you even ordered something? Do you even have a credit card? And this was like, please, I don't have it. But I mean, if it's coming, it's coming. Like, I think the greediness it boils down to greediness once again, because greediness is what will, convince you to still say you did it. Meanwhile, you didn't even request for anything. This thing is really bad. It's really bad.
Yes.
And I'm actually happy for this session because since we are going towards the Christmas season, a whole lot of these things will come up.
Yes.
A lot of these things, our parents are calling us for this, a whole lot. So I think this particular topic is going to be an eye-opener for our dear listeners and our friends who are also listening, and people who don't listen at all. Because sometimes when you try to explain things to people, I mean, they believe they know it, especially, our parents, because they feel they've lived for long, so they know everything that happens. But sometimes they should listen to us at a point. What do you think about this?
Yes, Abra, you are right. And so we have to look out for these things that we call too good to be true offers. All right. So like you said, how can a digital TV sold or be given to you at 1K? I mean 1,000 cedis. It really does not make any sense, So things like this should raise an alert. Okay. Do some kind of investigation. You can probably call the company that is trying to give you this offer. Confirm from them if it is true or not before you go ahead to do whatever transaction you want to do with them. And I would also mention spoofed emails or websites that mimic trusted organizations. So one of the tricks they also use is is spoof emails, okay, where they try to mimic the real organizations out there and trying to trick you into clicking those links and then providing your vital information or credentials that they could use to harm you in one way or the other. And so let us be on the watch for more of these things.
Oh.
And by so doing, I think we can minimize the rate at which these cyber attackers get to us. Yeah.
All right. So that being said, can I ask this question? So if I'm told that there is a prize or reward waiting for me, I mean, especially I think I actually get this a lot, where on my phone when I go to I'm trying to visit an application, then it will give me something like spin to get or to win an iPhone, a whole lot. Sometimes, I mean, that was those times when I was in JHS, SHS, I used to spin a lot because who doesn't want to win?
Yeah.
But then if in situations where I have been told or I've been called, I've got an email requesting for something that I know myself I've not even requested for, what do you think I should do in this situation? Should I just report, or I should just mind my own business, or I should just take pictures of it and post online that this person is a scammer? Meanwhile, I've not even gotten into contact with this person. What do I do in this situation? Should I just report? Should I just turn a blind eye? Should I tell friends about it so that next time too, when they also get the same message or something like that from the same person, they can be aware, or they can be aware that this person is a scammer or a threat actor?
All right. Okay, Abina. So what we should be doing in situations like this, I think, is one, we have to ask relevant questions. Okay, the person probably might claim that he's calling from a company or something like that. Let's know the name of the company,
okay,
where they are located, and I mean, if we can even work with their office directly, let's get to know all these things. If the person is not able to give answers to these questions that we will be asking them, that should give us an idea that it is a fraud. All right. So from there we can let the people or the public know of this scam things and all that. So we can go to the social media and then post probably screenshots that we've taken and all that to give the public awareness of what is going on out there. Okay, so we just don't have to keep mute over some of these things. And if we do that, it will continue, and people will surely fall for this trick. So let's create awareness out there. Once we get some of these calls or emails from them, let's try to verify, get to know more about them. If they are not able to give us any vital information, we know that it is a scam act and all that. So we create awareness out there.
All right. So there's another person on the call. Welcome, Elizabeth. She would want to say something. So did you hear my question, or do you want me to come back again? Hello? All right. It looks like she's off for a bit. So in regards to what you just mentioned, so you mean it's better or it's safe, I create awareness?
Hello,
yes, I'm here.
Okay, so what Charles said is perfectly right, but I just want to add on. Okay, assuming if someone calls you to request for your bank account. Can you hear me perfectly well?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So assuming if someone calls you to request for your bank account or your bank number from your bank, especially if you realize that the calls are coming consistently as in continuous, just drop the call and call your bank to inquire about the status of your account. With this, you can get more information on how to proceed. If it is scam, you just let it go. If it is not scam, they will show you different ways to go about it, and you just go by it. So I just want to add that to what Charles said.
That's great. I mean, especially with once again, back to our parents. because sometimes our parents, I mean, they mostly would, my parents, I mean, my mom would want to go to the bank. She literally doesn't want people calling her for, please, what's your this one, we want to change something about your accounts. She would want to do a walk-in. So I think that one, my mom is okay, but I don't know about other parents, and I don't know other listeners out there. I mean, for convenience's sake. And one thing I've realized is anytime there is, something easiness, or something convenient, I mean, there is also some bad things attached to it. Convenience sake, and let me give an example. An example is, now we have Momo. Momo is very, very convenient, but Momo has its own issues. We have Momo scams. We have people calling you to ask for your PIN number. And I remember once I was around Shiashi. There was a time I was around Shiashi. Then I was going to withdraw money. I got there. Then there was this woman. I mean, the agent. Someone else came to withdraw, but it looks like the person had forgotten the PIN. And later she remembered, and she actually gave her phone to this Momo vendor to type in the PIN. I'm like, what is happening in Ghana? Like, for that bit, I was quite confused. I was like, hey, this thing really happens? Anyway, so our dear listeners, once again, because we are going towards the Christmas season and festive season, you wouldn't want to, that small amount of money you save, you don't want it to go agile like that. You don't want anyone to steal. So this call or this podcast is going to help you understand, to recognize, to protect yourself, and even create awareness to people around you. So my next question, team, will be, how do cultural practices and social norms in Ghana contribute to the success of social engineering tactics? I mean, let me break it down a bit. Once again, back to our elders. Our elders, they have this analogy that, once again, to my mom, the fact that my mom would rather go to the bank rather than, calling the bank number or whatsoever. How does these activities or this mentality, like this traditional mentality, affect or contribute to this social engineering tactics? And even, does it even help prevent or actually contribute to its evolving or involvement? So if you have any contributions on this, you could, talk. Do you want me to come again? Okay. Then let me move on to the next question. So my next question will be, I've been seeing this on Facebook. In fact, before that, do you think Facebook is quite a safe place to even be, showcasing your videos, your pictures, your personal information? Do you think Facebook is that?
Hello, Abina.
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, I want to share my idea on the cultural practices and social norms in Ghana contributing to the success of Ghana. Okay. I want to speak to that.
Okay.
Yes. All right. So we can look at trust in authority.
Okay.
All right. Yes. Scammers they exploit respect for authority figures. Mm-hmm. All right, such as posing as a government or bank officials. Okay. All right, and then we can also look at the community reliance. All right, mm-hmm. where we talk about the familiarity within communities that makes impersonation easier. Okay. Yes, I hope you are.
Could you?
I hope you are getting where I'm coming from.
Yeah, could you give a little bit of example so that my dear listeners would, get to the flow? I understand, but for my listeners, maybe an example or something so that they could relate to this particular submission.
All right. So we trust in authority a lot. Okay.
All right.
Yes. And so if I called you that, I am a staff of so and so bank, we are doing an upgrade in our system, and we need you to provide some information on your account so that we could proceed with so and so. Because we have trust in authority. And because we also do not do a lot of background checks on information we get before proceeding to give
it out,
responses and all that. We fall for these things.
Exactly.
All right, we fall for these things, and then the community reliance. So and we belong to community, whether you like it or yes.
Yeah.
So maybe a member from the community you belong to reach out to you. Oh, this is what is happening. This is what is going on now. So we are doing ABCD. So you are also invited to be part of what we are doing. Instead of us to delve deeper into what they are doing, ask questions and know more about what is going on, we don't do that, and we follow them blindly. If it is a scam, we don't know. If it is not a scam, we don't know. And at the end of the day, we found ourselves in hot waters, and so that's it from that side. And limited cybersecurity awareness. Day in, day out, we keep preaching this social engineering tricks and all that, but it's as if it isn't going out there well, or it's not going down well with the people. So I believe we should also increase the awareness. Let the people understand. Let the people get to know the latest tricks that the bad actors are employing or they are leveraging on, so that they become aware of them and then know how to respond to some of these social engineering tricks whenever they come across one of them.
That's very true. In fact, that is why this channel has kind of shifted to a little bit of cybersecurity podcast, so that people will be aware and they will be informed, even in the recognition and protecting themselves online. Elizabeth, you want to say something?
Yes. Okay, so for me, how to help our mothers and our fathers back home, like I'm talking in general.
Okay.
We have to let them know. We have to educate them of baiting. With baiting, it is a trick of someone to think that they are getting something out of something.
Of course.
As in, they are getting an email requesting that when you click on this link, this is what you benefit out of it.
Exactly.
So when we really educate our parents at home to know the exploitation of human interaction by hackers, with that, they will be able to mitigate it. At least, even if something like this come by them, they will know how to control it.
That is very true. But then how our parents are. I don't know about your family.
Continuously.
It's true.
There is a saying that 1,000 miles, if you can help me, it starts gradually. Kindly help me out on this side. Like if you are taking a step 1,000 miles, you have to start from somewhere. So this is the time that we have to educate, like community, especially our communities, our locality, our hometown. Basically people think that people at home are not highly educated. So that is where they will target. So if we also notice that we have to target our channel on such localities, maybe localities that are probably very vulnerable to hackers' activities like that, we can educate them on baiting and also exploitation of human interaction. Because whilst criminals are interacting with you, the little you give, as in you're giving out your information, can be used against you in the future.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah.
So education is very important. So we shouldn't only limit our education just in our town, in our cities, but we should go to our locality, our hometowns to educate people around our locality to know more about phishing, and how criminals exploit the little information they get out of us.
That's very true. Thank you so much. I mean, my dear listeners, I'm sure you've been hearing so far. We've been talking about social engineering. We've been talking a little more about how to recognize social engineering tactics by criminals, and even how to protect ourselves, how to create awareness. We've been talking about this. My very last question is to us all once again. And this one, I would want it to be something that my dear listeners would use, or something they can rely on right? So that they can protect themselves. Just a little few words. I won't take so much words for now because my time is almost up. So how can we as Ghanaians, right? How can we as Ghanaians recognize and protect ourselves? I mean, we know social engineering, we know how this whole thing entails, we know how these bad guys start with, we know what and where not to do. But then how do we recognize that, yeah, this is social engineering, so I should protect myself? How do I know this is actually something the scammer is doing, but it's not an ordinary person? How can I know this is not something I probably didn't request and someone is telling me I requested? How do I know this is actually a false or a falsified, information or activity this hacker is trying to get from me? How can I recognize that? So, my dear team, could you help me with this?
Sure. All right, Abena. So we can first of all verify requests.
Okay.
We have to confirm with service providers directly if we receive suspicious instructions.
If I may ask, there are sometimes, so let's say MTN, I've got an email from, let's say SMS from MTN saying they have blocked my accounts, all those. Do I entirely have to call MTN? Or you think
I'm sure.
Yes, of course you have to.
Okay. Yes, exactly. Because over there you are not sure of the information you got. Okay, and so it is important that you reach out to them to confirm if the message you receive actually comes from them or from some bad actor somewhere trying to play on your intelligence and then get some information from you. And so that's it. We have to verify requests. We also have to be cautious with pins. Okay, never share your mobile money pins.
Oh, okay.
Or the OTP. Do not at any time share this house with any other person.
So this has made me remember there was a time I was ordering food from Pizza Man. So there was this number that popped up. I wasn't too sure of the number, but I decided to call. I called this number. It was going through. The person answered. I placed my request, and according to him, I'm supposed to pay before it is delivered to me. That was so the branch was at Atomic. Well, according to Google, it showed me Atomic and the number. So I called. Then all these things, happened. So now this person says I should pay on before it is delivered to me. At a point, I almost paid because I was a little bit confused. But I took my time. Then I probed further that why do you want me to pay? Is it not supposed to be on delivery? Then he started giving me. He sounded so convincing in the sense that he was even giving his employee this number, his name is this, that's a whole lot. So if I wasn't extra careful, if I didn't know about cybersecurity, I mean, imagine it's someone who doesn't literally know anything about cybersecurity, who is, novice. I mean, the person would definitely send the amount, right?
Yes.
So these are the convincing issues or convincing tactics these people put up. And if you're not too careful, you get to disclose, you get to pay things that you're not even going to get services back, which is quite worrying. It's very serious, it's very critical here. So thank you for the verification part, because we are always supposed to verify. All right, could you help me? Yeah.
Oh, yes, please. Okay, so when we channel it to our working environment, the use of two-step authentication service really helps, as it empowers a secondary device such as your cell phone or another email address in which a hacker don't have access to it. Basically it generates it. The two-step authentication itself is generated by an authenticated app that is provided by our user, that is your workplace. So hackers won't be able to get to you when you use two-step authentication, as in even if the person have access to your.
All right. Could you come back with that one again? You break for a moment.
Should I repeat myself?
Yes, please. Could you repeat?
Okay. Okay, so I want to channel it back to our working environment. Yes, yes, it's very, very, very important because the use of two-step authentication service, it requires a secondary device such as your cell phone or another email address in which a hacker don't have access to. Basically, the two-step authentication is generated by an authenticated app that is provided by your user. That is where you work, your user. So with this, it will be difficult for hackers or to penetrate. It won't be easy for any hacker to get through to you, even if they have access to your password.
Okay. So in other words,
am I clear now?
Yeah, very clear. So in other words, listeners, she is making mention of we using the MFA, so multi-factor authentication. Ideally, for all applications you are supposed to have a multi-factor authentication for all. So for me, I do have my Google Authenticator, which it has all authentication for almost all my apps: Snapchat, Twitter, that is formerly Twitter, X. Then I also have others for some other applications. So ideally, applications, I really wish people who make applications, they could, embed the MFA, right? What do you think, team? They could potentially embed the MFA so that, they can, people can be protected. Because sometimes we ourselves, we are already lazy. Once again, conveniency brings a lot of risk. We're already lazy. So if there are no MFAs on applications, we're going to download to even set it up is also another issue. So that also brings me back to WhatsApp. WhatsApp too has a two-factor authentication. So ideally, listeners, if you have your WhatsApp, you could just go to your settings, or maybe someone else can help us with how to set up WhatsApp two-factor authentication. Could someone help us?
All right. So, if you want to set a two-step verification, account on any of your accounts, you should go to the settings
Okay.
of the account, and then you follow the prompts over there. It is self-explanatory. Okay, so once you follow it, you'll be able to set it up successfully. And I want to say that it is important we set up the two-step verification on our accounts. Okay, I have been receiving a lot of complaints here and there, and they have taken over my WhatsApp account, my Google account, my Facebook, my Instagram account, and all that. When I ask, have you set up two-step verification to those accounts, say no. Without the two-step verification, it will become very easy. More than easy for an external attacker to hack your account. But the two-step verification gives additional layer of security to your account. What happens is, if the attacker is trying to compromise your account, it will request for a code that has been sent to the app or the device that you use for the two-step verification. And if that code is not given out, the attacker will know, or there's no way the attacker will get access to your account. And so we day in, day out, we keep preaching this. Let us try as much as possible to set up the two-step verification account on any of our social media accounts that is two-step verification enabled. Okay, let's try and do that to avoid these attackers troubling us here and there. And I thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. So we are just about ending the show. It has always been Fancy e-learning videos. That's the channel. And once again, this is our maiden podcast on cybersecurity. I'm Abna. You can call me Abs with 5 S. We also have Dickens, that's the Dark Hacker. We also have Elizabeth, who has also come to give us quite insights on social engineering, and we are very grateful. But before we leave, maybe some 2 sentences from each one of you before we leave this. So maybe Elizabeth, could you give us maybe 2 sentences or something? It could be a way to recognize. I mean, your last words for our dear listeners and viewers. All right, so I think that hacker can help us with this. Then we could end the session.
Sure, Abina. I want to say thank you very much for bringing me on this program. It is an opportunity to share my skills on social engineering, and I believe that our listeners out there will benefit a lot from this. And I would also urge everyone out there to subscribe to this channel, because a whole lot of stuff like this will be coming their way, where they'll get to
mention it again for my dear listeners. Oh, thank you so much. I think our time is already elapsed. Once again, it's Abna, ABSSSSS Bansi. So if today's episode, once again, this is our maiden cyber podcast. So if today's episode was interesting, was something you learned, I mean, whatever you learned today, you could put it in the comment section. If you have any topics, any cybersecurity issue, or any cybersecurity topic you want us to, elaborate on, probably for our next discussion, you can also put it in the comment section. And if you are new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe, give a thumbs up. And once again, these are my able panel. Okay, so once again, we have Charles Dickens, who is that hacker, and we also have Elizabeth. Both of them are going to be our only hosts. Actually, why did I even say host? My bad. Very sorry. I'm the only host. Yeah, I'm the only host. They are just a panel, but they will be on for quite a long time because of the expertise they have in this issue. So once again, I would like you to subscribe to my channel. That is if you're new, and thank you so much for staying on till now. I'm sure it's almost 40 minutes, and it was a good one. I have enjoyed, and this you could also share with your friends, can share with your family, all in the name of we protecting ourselves, because cybersecurity is not just me, it's about you, it's about me, it's about everybody. If you get compromised based on your computer, based on all those information they have about you, it can be used to also compromise me. I don't want to be compromised, so we are just still learning. We are learning about this. And yeah, one last word from Elizabeth, then we are gone. So Elizabeth, could you talk something? All right, so okay, she's back. She's not really back, so let's end it here for today. Thank you so much for this session. Thank you, my able panels. Thank you. So bye.